Hello and welcome to Week 5 of the KTaNE League Spring 2021 EFM competition. My name is MCD and I'm joined by Espic, and we'll be taking you through this week's highlighted EFM action. Just as my friend Yabagai always says, if you haven't played Keep Talking, you are missing out. This is a heavily modded version of the game and we would love for you to join the community. Check out KeepTalkingGame.com or go to discord.gg/KTaNE to join the fun and not explode. This week's matchup is between Tepel and a good username. Espic, what are your thoughts about how the league's been going so far?
Well, personally, I feel like people are falling under the pressure a little bit. Like a lot of the people I'm talking to, some of my teammates, and even myself, sometimes have blundered pretty bad during some of these bombs. Not always, but goes to show you that it takes a lot of effort to do well in this.
Yeah. Just a reminder for anyone who's not seen one of these before, how the league is working is every single week, two teams or players are going to be facing off with a total of 11 modules on 3 different bombs. Every player has provided a list of 15 modules, which they verified in the first week of the league before we started going through the competition, and they essentially get to veto 2 modules away from every other person's list. So for the first bomb, we'll be seeing 7 of Tepel's modules, 3 of Username's modules, and a staff pick, which is just a module that the staff have decided to use. Similar to Bomb 2, except reversed, we'll see 3 of Tepel's modules, 7 of Username's, and a staff pick. Bomb 3 split down the middle, 5 and 5, with a staff pick. And the winner is the person who defuses the bomb in the fastest amount of time, or if neither player defuses the bomb, whoever solves more modules will be the winner. It takes 2 bomb wins to win a match.
And also, we'll be telling you the vetoes as we see the bombs. So, with Tepel's bomb, we'll see what username veto from Tepel, and with username's bomb, we will see what Tepel veto from username.
Alright, with that being said, we've got the first bomb in front of us here. It's going to be showing Tepel's audio, because I believe it is Tepel's bomb. And, Espic, I am ready if you are.
I am ready too.
Alright, off we go. We load things in here, you're going to see the bomb HUD in the bottom left and right hand corner of the screen. It'll just show you where the players are by showing you their time, their solve modules, and the strike counter. Tepel's already going for... Yeah.
Both players immediately go to 15 mistake lights.
And Tepel gets it extremely quickly. Now going for what appears to be a solo on... is that chili beans?
That's kidney beans.
Kidney beans. And that's 2 solves to 0 currently.
As you can see, none of them have actually looked at the edge work yet, but I don't think a lot of these models that they've been doing require the edge work. They might need it later, though. So.
I would agree with you there, and it looks like username is working on, I believe that's regular expressions? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
And now...
What's 9 plus 10?
21. 3 solves for Tepel. Now, as we're noticing on here, Espic, you have the vetoes in front of you from Tepel's list, which username vetoed away.
Yeah. So username has decided to veto away Melody Sequencer, which is a very long module where you have to enter 4 rhythms on a 2-octave piano and then move rhythms elsewhere. I can see why. It's long, and the places you have to click are pretty small. And if you miss it, if you're off by a little bit, you'll still strike. And we also see Diophantine equations, or Diophantine equations. I don't really know too much about that module, honestly.
Neither do I.
I never really looked at the manual, so...
That could very well be a reason why username vetoed it, as it's not a module I think either of us have seen. Maybe some folks in the chat will have seen it before. Tepel's now taking a look at Hill Cycle. It's one of these various cycle mods in which you're going to have to perform a cipher to decrypt and then take your new word and re-encrypt it.
Also, that wasn't your computer, that was Tepel's.
Yeah. Don't blame me. I have Discord notifications muted, please. Username getting his first salve of the bomb as he's now attacking 15 Mystic Lights.
I almost called it 3 cryptic steps for whatever reason.
That's 2
I wonder
salves.
if I did earlier by accident.
You probably did.
Now, Heal Cycle is a little bit interesting. There's a very, I wouldn't say cheesy way to do it, but it can be text field calculator, if that's an adverb, I guess.
Yeah.
Or adjective, I don't know.
Username's now
but it
taking a look
actually-
at 21 as well. Oh, and that's a solve. What were you going to say about Cryptic? Not Cryptic Cycle, Hill Cycle?
Yeah, it's a little bit of an oddball in terms of the other things. It's first of all, it's not on Jumble Cycle, and secondly, it's the only one of 2 those cycles that actually only has 5 different positions rather than 8. Anyway, we see Tepel going on to Gridlock, which
That's our staff
I
pick
have
for the
some-
bomb. Yeah.
Yep, that's the staff pick for the bomb. All the staff picks this week are interactives. We have stuff like button sequence, gridlock, varicolored squares, third base, and assignments on first. And they're pretty easy, I would imagine.
It's just that they're time sinks.
They are, and I was about to say a little beef I have a gridlock. It's the new interactive manual. I don't like it.
You don't like it. The vetoes from the staff picks from the players were going to be button sequences in third base, meaning we won't be seeing them on any of the bombs. Meaning we'll still be taking a look at assignments on first and varicolored squares at some point down the line.
Username going on to synchronization, something off of my EFM list actually. Now this module is very finicky because there are multiple ways to do the same answer. Sometimes.
And it looks like, so this is actually going to be a module off of usernames list as well. So this might give him a time advantage, as was 21 was also a module off of usernames list as well.
Well, I'm not surprised. I thought username would be working on this quicker by now. There he goes.
Yep, it looks like he's starting it up right now.
That looks like ascending plus or ascending. Oh, it's ascending plus.
Yeah, it looks. I would agree
Tepel
with you
making
there.
quick work of 3D tunnels. No, it's ascending alternate. My bad. Tepel now, I think, looking at edge work for the first time.
Yeah. It's currently 6-3 right now, and username just has to sync up those lights by hitting it on an 8. There he goes. Now taking a look at Hill Cycle.
Hill Cycle off his list, so maybe he'll be able to do it faster than Tepel can.
It was on both of their lists. Believe it or not, yeah. They're
Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't notice.
yeah. So both players are claiming to be working with some kind of advantage here. We'll see how their advantages stack up. Tepel now going for a submission on Maze Cubed.
I've always wondered if two people having the same list actually hurts both of them.
Yeah.
Or rather than helps both of them.
Because it doesn't necessarily take anything away from the other person. It's just, you know, hey, I can do that mod too.
Imagine how confident you are in you're faster than your opponent. And that did not take long for that Hill Cycle.
Oh no, that was 100% faster than Tepel did his. Currently 7-6 now. Username's making up some ground as he's now attacking. I believe that's Boomdust, which is off of his list.
Now, Boomdust requires a lot of modulo, and also requires a lot of sliding those numbers around. And I've heard that the way that those tiles slide is very finicky. Some tiles can stick onto others. That's a little unintuitive. I haven't tried the module much myself, so I wouldn't know for sure, but definitely something that people don't play often.
What do you think about how have you I'm not sure how much experience you have with these two players. What do you think about like their sort of diffusing style? How do you think it's might take into account here?
I don't know much about Tepel, honestly. I do know quite a bit about username. I know that they are really good, but I haven't seen them do a whole ton. I just know that they're good. And Tepel, I just don't know much about at all. So
username now evening it up here as he's attacking alphabets. Having worked with username on negative creativity, like he is very specific about the ways he does his modules. Like he will grind a module for a while to learn it, and it's very impressive in my opinion. He does a really, really good job with this stuff. taking
like
the lead.
if you're trying to learn a module you're not comfortable with, of course I would grind it out, especially for the league.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say earlier, username now attacking alphabets made by Procyon, team member of FCSC, but we did not put it on our list.
You guys weren't a sellout like me.
Does Simon Stores count as a sellout?
Maybe. Yes, kind of.
Um,
If Cube counts as a sellout for us, then I will count Stores as a sellout for you.
okay. Tepel now looking at regular hexpressions. Probably one of the more intuitive modules that has recently came out, or at least the end of last year. I think it's really well designed. Regular expressions, unique to modules KTaNE. I think this is the only module that uses it. And not only that, but the way they have to align those circles with the symbols is very creative.
Looks like username's going for a submission on alphabets. If it's correct, he'll be tying up his solve. Let's see if it's correct. And that's a solve, so it's going to be 8-8 as he's going on to attack 3D tunnels.
It's like these two are pretty evenly matched right now.
Yeah, I think this is going to come down to the wire, considering neither of them has struck, and there is only 3. Ooh, I spoke too soon.
I knew that was coming too. I was thinking, okay, he said something about striking. Someone's going to strike as soon as he said that.
And there's the solve, but now Tepel's clock is going to count down a little bit faster. That's going to be at 1.25 speed. Remember, if both players do solve their bombs, whoever solves it with more time remaining on that clock is going to get the win. Meaning this could be an advantage for username to make up some ground here.
And if neither player solves their bomb, it goes by the number of solved modules instead. And if the same amount of solved modules at the end, they each get half a point. Username going through 3D tunnels right now. Usually he just got his first symbol. Usually when you get the first, the other two come pretty quick. Taking his time though. Probably the cube is on the other side of the maze than the gear is, so
yeah,
that might be unlucky.
Looks like Tepel's going for
finishing first half of alphabets.
And username is now looking to find that final symbol, the umbrella, which I believe was pretty close to the cube. Maybe on like.
Do you know the grid offhand?
I don't know the grid offhand, but I want to say it can get there in like 4-ish moves. Yep, 4 moves.
What's left for him? He has gridlock
and maze cubed.
I don't know what's left for Tepel.
Tepel, I believe, is looking at Boomdust and alphabets.
Well, after alphabets, because
yeah, alphabets will be the 10th solve, which it is. Once he solves that Boomdust, it will be a solved bomb for Tepel, if he does solve it, of course. And it looks like username's going for a submission on Maze Cubed. If he does that, that'll be his 10th solve, and then he just has to find the honk honk square on gridlock.
You know, fun fact, I gave up solving my 4x4 cube to post index cards of all the faces on Maze Cube so I could do it.
Ha! And it looks like it's going to be a 10th solve for username.
I had to do Maze Cube for my first match against a competitor who actually dipped. I won't mention their name, though, for respect.
Something also funny about the module gridlock, which is what username's doing, is against my match with Asu this week, I was very close to to just losing a bomb outright. So I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna YOLO gridlock. So I hit Bravo 2, and it conked. It was beautiful.
That or Procyon and I YOLOing Romanite last season.
I don't know. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
This is close.
Let's see. And that's a solved bomb. 2:38 remaining on the timer. But username solves gridlock a little bit after that. But because he had the strike advantage, he's going to win this first bomb. 3:25 remaining. It's going to be 1-0 username.
Simultaneous solves.
Yeah, like literally. It typed out the same time and everything. Ultimately.
And these are two kind of equally matched players, and I was actually really paying attention to this match because honestly, a lot of the top three for the EFM in Group B is decided by this match, or be heavily influenced by it.
Yeah.
Really depends on who else could have a battle for like second or third.
I honestly think it'll be very interesting to see, especially because that was on Tepel's advantage bomb that username won. So considering the next bomb is username's advantage bomb, if he does end up taking this, he will take the series, and he is posed to win according to how League is supposed to work. Just because
Username hasn't lost a single match yet.
I'm taking a look at username's taking a look at Tepel's vetoes against username. We're looking at he vetoed away username's boss module, which would have been guaranteed to show up on this bomb 14, where you have to decipher additive color mixing on, I believe what is it, a 14 segment display?
Why is the module called 14 then? If it wasn't 14 segments,
I don't know. And then also vetoed away was a message.
You're not the only one to make that mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand, but I've seen username do a message in like 30 seconds. I don't understand how he does it or why he knows so much of the manual.
I mean, considering what's left on username's list and knowing how he works, considering I've worked with him on a lot of these modules, I know how fast he can be on this, and I'm thinking he has a good chance. We're gonna take a look at what he's got remaining on his list as we move into the next bomb. Are you ready? All right, let's do it. We're gonna hear username's audio now.
Audio from. Okay, you stole my words.
Stole your line.
Very much.
Yes.
Speaking of my stuff, there's my module, Unknown Cipher, and 100 levels of Diffusal.
Both on username's list, both modules that he's extremely quick at.
We have another Hill Cycle, which, fair enough, it's on both lists. See both switching and shifting maze.
I'm looking at a 7 choose 4 as well.
There's palindromes as well, which also comes off of username's list. And then at the top left, we see regret B filtering or RGB filtering coming off of Tepel's list.
And I think the last module we've seen so far is Simon's on first, which is the staff pick for this bomb. There's still a couple modules left. I think there's like maybe one or two that we haven't seen. I thought I saw either Hypercube or Ultracube. But I don't know for sure.
Now one thing is, kind of funny story about this is, when username, oh, it's Ultracube, okay.
Yeah, it's
when
Ultracube.
username applied for this league, he had a list of 15 modules, and he didn't have both switching and shifting maze. He only had shifting maze, I believe. And he had one module, a Motiga identification, but unfortunately, due to some technical issues with the module, the leagues considered it not to be feasible for this due to irregularities in how the module generates. And username had switching maze on his 5 backup modules that in case anything happened with his main list, one of his backups would randomly be selected to fill in for his main list. And guess which one got selected? As you can see, username now attacking regret B filtering, which module I have never even looked at the manual. I looked at the phone DOS manual. I know nothing about this, so.
Now, when it comes to Unknown Cipher, the joke about having unknowns is since the Pokemon's so bad, you want to unown it. Lamau XD. I'm not funny. Please kill me. We're now looking at Tepel attempting.
I'm not. You're lucky that you're recording this. Otherwise, I would kick you and get another commentator in here.
It looks like Tepel's going for a submission on palindromes, where your goal is to find 3 palindrome numbers to find that sum up to be a certain integer. As the famous riddle says, all numbers can be formed by the sum of 3 palindromes. Both players now have a solve, solving it at basically the same time, as Tepel's now attacking the final module we haven't seen, which is Mazery. Up to 2 solves now for not Tepel, I'm sorry, username.
Fun fact about Unknown Cipher. Did you know that those 4 numbers at the bottom correspond to actual values used to calculate the letters of the unknown in the Generation 2 games?
It was the DVs, am I right? If I'm...
Yep. It works the exact same way.
Yeah. That same mechanic also, if we have any other Pokemon nerds in the chat, it also determined if the Pokemon was shiny or not.
And shiny unknown do exist in this module, but they're really rare, and I've only gotten it once. When I was deliberately going for it. When I made the tutorial for this module. Even then, I was way over odds.
Yeah, I assume
Like
you probably had to
40,000.
reset quite a lot of times.
Anyway, Tepel, going through Mazery, which one of the few people I've seen who is not using colorblind mode for this. A lot of the teams, including our teams, use colorblind mode for this. Probably because it helps with the actual reading the module for the diffuser standpoint.
Just makes it quicker, you know, you don't have to discern between certain colors. Even though neither Espic nor I are colorblind.
It would be interesting to actually see things with colorblind filters.
Yeah.
I hope we're not offending anyone by saying that.
Biggie in the chat?
Our username actually got different numbers for palindromes other than what the Tepel got.
It's one of the
Tepel had a
beauties of
lot
palindromes.
zeros, in their answer.
Yeah, username, from what I've seen of them doing palindromes with me, a lot of times they'll try to isolate numbers into only having a few per, you know, stage, which is a little bit of an interesting way to solve it in my opinion, but it's still a lot of fun. And that's an Unknown solve. Thank you, Unknown. Very cool.
I'm sorry if it's too loud. I tried to lower it down for some reason. This doesn't want to work.
I feel that. People still complain Nature's has too loud of a solve sound.
It does not.
People complain about it.
People complain about Nature's not having a highlight. That's what they're complaining about.
It has a highlight in the fucking... I don't know what to do. It has a highlight. The test artist, man. Username's now taking a look at 100 levels of diffusal, and Tepel, I think, is working on his answer for regret B filtering at the moment.
As you can see, both, I believe, switching maze is on the bottom left and shifting maze is on the bottom right.
That sounds right to me.
Also, the font is finally readable on those.
Yeah.
I think that font has been used for a while, but
People have been requesting that change for a while.
Goofy during Module Showcase back like last year when he saw switching maze, thought it'd be a great candidate for art/arsehole design for the font alone. By the way, they've given up doing Module Showcase, unfortunately. But you can find all the raw footage files on the repo.
Mm-hmm. And one of them was even edited.
Username now submitting 100 levels of diffusal.
And it looks like Tepel's going for a submission on Regret B as well. And that's a correct answer for Tepel.
What does that say? It looks like
Absolute Mad Lad. I'm pretty sure it's Absolute Mad Lad.
In comparison to just 100 levels of views, it says solved. And that's it.
We're now looking at shifting maze. Or is this is switching maze? This is switching maze. In which
there's a 1 in 3 chance that the maze will switch to a different maze whenever you take a step. Would you call it worse or better than Boolean maze?
the Boolean, or
No, yeah, Boolean maze.
I would say this is a little bit easier to manage because everything isn't like determined. Like there's no way to get stuck. You can always, there is always a legal move to make. And that's a solve, I believe?
I think the solve and strike animation is pretty similar.
We'll find out. That's a solve.
There we go. Tepel now looking at Ultra Cube. Don't ask me how you're supposed to understand comprehend.
It took me a little bit of time. I am very thankful to OE Gamer for teaching me how to read Ultra Cube rotation, so I can now tell you. Oh, never mind. I can't tell you because Tepel is already in submission.
I was gonna try it myself because I had to learn them for my match against Legend Wille, which I absolutely blundered on. We don't mention that match. But honestly, the harder part of Ultra Cube for me is clicking those nodes, because you have to move the bomb, and hopefully the bomb like sticks in a rotated state. And even then, you're prone to misclicking. It's kind of unforgiving, I would say.
Those ping noises are coming from shifting maze there. The louder pings represent where which directions the walls are in. You're gonna hear it in clockwise order, starting at north, and basically wherever a louder ping exists, there's a wall, so you know not to move there. And every single time you move, you're gonna hear that because the walls are gonna change.
Not as many songs this time, only 5 to 6. It makes sense. A lot of the models on here are longer than they were the last one, so I don't think either of these two will be solved this. I know Username still has quite a bit of law stuff to do. Tepel also has a little bit of law stuff to do as well.
We're looking now at 5 to 7 as Username begins tacking Ultra Cube. Let's see if he knows his 5D rotations.
Well, that didn't take him long.
Something tells me he's good. Go ahead.
Tepel and I working on Simonson first, which I would say is, other than the fact that it's a big lookup table, it's actually quite an innovative module idea. But you know, sometimes lookup tables are the only way to go, and they're not always bad, but they're not always liked or appreciated either. For example, ordered keys.
It looks like we have two correct submissions from Username side. He needs 2 more in order to solve that module.
Tepel now looking through Unknown Cipher. Unknown Cipher is actually a manual challenge, and I kind of helped a little too much.
It was kind of similar to Pocket Planes in my book.
But the process itself is pretty easy. You just gotta do it 5 times.
Username now solving. Simon's on first as he has 3 modules left to solve.
Mazery, 724, and Simonson first. I can see Mazery and Simonson first can solve. 724 I'm not too sure about. I'm not too sure if you'll be able to solve it in like 2.5 to 3 minutes. Maybe less, depending on how long it takes him to do these 2 modules. Well, Tepel now looking at switching maze.
I've seen him do 7-choose-4 against Cloudburst. He can do it fairly quickly. It's about, can he get that read down and make sure that the transpositions are right.
I really like the sounds of Simon's on first.
Yeah, me too. Although I think I prefer Simon Stage's sounds more.
I don't really like. I'm in neutral to Simon Stages, but Simon's on first. I quite like it that the sounds are pretty harmonic here. Sometimes they're just out of chord or something. But they sound pretty nice this time. That maze switched to a different color. We did not see it when Username tackled switching maze. A little bit of inconsistencies there, but the seed will always be the same. And the seed is the most important aspect of that module since it determines your start and end points.
That's a nice little solve jingle.
Solves Simonson first.
Username taking a look at Mazery now. That module should probably take him about 30 seconds, I believe.
Yeah. I do not see him solving 7-2-4, so he's probably getting into 10 solves. It really depends on how well Tepel can power through the rest of these modules.
It looks like he would need at least 3 solves to tie Username, provided Username does solve this Mazery, and he would need to solve the bomb in order to win. Keep in mind if username does not win. Keep in mind if username does win this bomb, he will be moving immediately to winning. We'll still watch the third bomb, of course, but the game will be over at that point.
Anyway, I was gonna say something. I think Simon's on First at one point was just too unbearably loud that people didn't play it. Fortunately, it is now, and fortunately, we can all listen to it without having our eardrums blasted. It is still loud, but
it's tolerable.
Yeah, it's tolerable. Yeah, not looking too good for Tepel right now. Only a minute and a half left. Still has 7 solves and working on shifting maze, which is a pretty long module.
He's looking to get 4 to win. He's got to get that in that amount of time. Meanwhile, username's looking at his final module, 724. Maybe he might submit it if he's quick enough, but he probably won't. Tepel's hoping for a miracle here, even though he doesn't know it. Your walls can be extremely unlucky if you're not careful. And I think no, it's not.
I'm not sure why there's a little desync there. Maybe some lag.
Yeah.
No strikes in either though.
It's probably a little bit of video lag. Both flares now under 45 seconds. As Tepel had the solve, that's gonna be 9 solves. Does he have a 7 choose 4 answer?
I thought there'd be more. Oh,
yeah.
That was a strike on shifting maze.
Oh, but it looks like username.
Going for it again.
Username might get 7 choose 4. Okay. Maybe. Can he do what I did and clutch it like I did that forget me not?
That was insane.
I don't know how I did that, man. 2 more inputs left. 1. Oh, but that's a strike. Ah.
Doesn't look like it. Tepel is ran out of time, but username also ran out of time, but more solves, so he takes the win for this match.
It's gonna be 2 so far 2-0 username. We are still gonna watch that third bomb because hey, we like bombs. We like exploding things. They're fun. But with that being said,
people, by the way, in case if you're wondering.
Oh yeah,
we're taking this out of context.
Yeah, we're insane. Anyway, username I think at that point has not lost a match. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he is now gone undefeated.
Yeah, only Legend Wille is the only other person in the EFM division right now who has gone undefeated.
That's very impressive.
We're going to be taking a look at the third bomb, the neutral bomb, where they have 5 modules from each of their lists. Shall we start?
Yeah, we're going to start right about now. You're also going to notice that 2 of the modules from each player's list will be repeated. That's just due to, you know, how things work. I noticed already you're going to see alphabets as the repeat, as one of the repeats. And the other repeats are probably on the other side of the bomb. Yep, 15 Mystic Lights and Mazery being there. We're hearing Tepel's audio, and it looks like he's going for kanji, which can be really easy to EFM. It's just that the submission can take a little bit.
Wow, he's spending like hardly any time on kanji.
Oh yeah. Both players saw Boozle Talk basically instantaneously.
Tepel is Japanese, so...
Oh, Tepel's Japanese. You know, that might be why. Maybe not. I don't know how well he knows I don't know how well he knows his kanji.
Japanese manuals as like translated manuals for other modded modules. So I'm just gonna expect probably knows kanji offhand.
Yeah. And it looks like it's gonna be 3-2 right now as username finishes solving his kanji. He's probably gonna work it. Yep, he's gonna attack that 15 Mystic Lights. Moving on to stage 2 as Tepel attacks Mazery.
Yeah, kanji did come off of Tepel's list, probably for that reason. I think Caleb has it as well. Makabao, I think, has kanji as well. Maybe Caleb doesn't have it, not this season.
Come on, Aspect. Don't even know what your own teammate has?
Be quiet. But one of the strategies that I used on kanji is you can just do one stage and go to another module while it's waiting, because there's a little bit of delay between stages, because it has a little animation.
That looks like it was what Tepel used to solve kanji and boozle talk at the same time. Username now up to 3 solves goes over to alphabets.
Tepel now on Masonry, which, did we see Masonry on all 3 bombs?
No,
No,
it was just bombs
last
2 and 3.
Okay. Left of the alphabets is 3 cryptic steps, another one of my modules. Username put a lot of my modules on his list.
You should feel flattered.
Yeah. See, both Tepel and Username go for the earliest possible times, which are red on either 1459, 1455, or 1451. If you don't miss those, then you're screwed. Tepel now looking at RGB sequences.
That's also off Username's list.
Which is... I thought this module was well appreciated, and I liked it, so I put it on the quinquennial.
Yeah, I still haven't learned it. I probably should, though. It seems like it's fairly easy.
It's pretty creative, where you have to... There are 10 different color channels that either emit a red, green, or blue light across those 10 different positions. And you got to see which one... Only 3 of them are actually being displayed at the same time. And color mixing, of course, exists. So you got to find out what those 3 are by process of elimination, and then do some other calculations.
Username's now attacking heraldry, which is a mod that you either love it or you hate it. I
like it, but it has way too many crests.
Yeah.
There are 40 crests. No, I think there's like 38 crests in that book of crests there, and you have to find very specific features about all of the crests, like what pattern is it, what's like the charges, what animals are on it, what colors are they, what colors are the charges, what colors are on top of other colors. Just a lot to take in, and I think it would have been great if there were like much less.
Yeah.
As you see, on the right there, that is the royal house, which you need to find that crest to start the module. This comes off of Tepel's list. And Tepel finishing up alphabets. Currently has a solve advantage. Oh, never mind. Not anymore.
Looking at step 2.
Maybe he'll get it back with that alphabet. So I didn't expect Username to finish heraldry. Here we have the staff pick on Tepel's side. Varicolored squares. Kind of looks similar to 3 cryptic steps, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I did notice the other a strike. I did notice that the other repeat from Username's list was Boomdus.
Saw alphabets as the repeat for Tepel's list. Username now tackling 3 cryptic steps.
What is the goal of that module?
Well, what Username's doing for the second part, you need to make numbers all like in the same colors. So what he's doing is he has to make a 0 with yellow. And a 0 in this module is the perimeter of that 5x5 grid. And fun fact, I actually didn't know how to make 0 efficiently when I chose this module for my list. Shoutouts to Mythers for helping me with that.
Nice. And a little bit ago, you did another strike on Varicolored for Tepel as he moves on. You did hear earlier that little sort of buzzer noise. That was Varicolored squares basically giving you a mercy rule as the fact that you would just consistently swap back and forth between the same modules over and over again.
Yeah, but people screw up on that a lot, so it's barely a mercy rule. Tepel now looking at Hexium, and Username gets 0 on 3 cryptic steps. Depending on the serial number, he has to either make 2 of 1, 4, or 7, but they have to be all in different colors. Looks like he's going to make 7 in green here. The puzzle's kind of inspired by Lights Out. It's also kind of inspired by Riddle School 5, if you've seen the puzzles in there. We have to make numbers in Lights Out.
Hexium solve.
So speaking of flash game inspirations, Tepel finishing at Hexium. Looks like username is also making 4 with cyan. So you got the unluckiest serial number, because 1 is the easiest number out of all 10 of those to make. Now there are other numbers. You can make like those other numbers that aren't required, like 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, and 9, but they're much harder, and
Why?
oftentimes you may not even be, it may not even be possible, depending on the configurations that you get.
Username moving on to step 3 now.
Step 3 is a very numerical cipher, to put it simply. And 3 steps is also a manual challenge, and the point was people would find out the numbers for the first step, which they did. There was a huge chart of numbers for each of the buttons for the first step. Solve the second step because it was possible. In the third step, you would just enter certain words to guess, and you get clues that relate to other modules or even other videos on YouTube. Excuse me.
And that's a solve. So we're now looking at 6 to 7 right now, though it looks like Tepel's possibly got a boom to solve. We will see. Yes, we do.
Indeed, solve on boom dust still has heraldry for quick steps. And I didn't see what else.
That nasty varicolored.
Oh, the Tepel not solved that Vari yet?
No, he struck twice and moved on to Hexium.
Still has a solve advantage in terms of elapsed time, but username sitting pretty with no strikes and nearly a minute 40 time advantage.
And that time advantage, we did see it matter. Because remember, they solved the bomb on like the exact same frame in Bob 1. But that time advantage is what gave username the win.
Username, I think all the solves besides one of them are on this side of the bomb. I don't know what's on the other side. Oh, no, wait, he's solved 3 cryptic. Username now looking at Boom Dust. Tepel now working on heraldry, also found the Royal House crest. Also, that crest on the left, that is the longest name I've ever seen for heraldry. And to top it off, there's 4 different words.
Oh yeah, Sax, Goberg, and Gotha. Did he find...
When I first learned it, I just thought that these were flags. I didn't realize that these shapes are called crests.
Yeah. Like a family crest.
What are they used for? Are they just used for banners?
They're used for family crests. So like back in medieval days, every family had their own crest. And so, like, if you had armor, or like a castle at the time, or a house.
Like, I was thinking those crests could be, like, on a shield or something.
Yeah, that's mainly what they were on. You'd have your house crest on, like, a shield, or your, house, or your armor, etc. Double taking a third look at that, varicolored squares. Hopefully you can get through it strikeless this time.
Tepel solving mazery in the process. Looking at Boom Dust again. And Tepel has step 2 of 3 cryptic steps waiting for him after this.
Tepel makes it through. And 3 cryptic steps looks like it's the last module for Tepel. So we'll see what he can do.
Now, Tepel can still win this if username doesn't solve any of the other modules.
Even though he won't win the match overall, he still does get to pull a bomb away from him, which is always a nice feeling.
Yeah, username has varicolored Hexium left. Varicolored pretty quick, and Hexium, if you're lucky, can also be quick. Much more favorable for him. Even if they tie, still favorable for username.
Username taking a look at varicolored now as Tepel goes under a minute. And there's that 30-second sting.
Tepel finally making 0 on 3 cryptic steps, using that yellow color to kind of correct some of the other yellow colors in that inner 3x3 grid. and that's why everyone makes 0 with yellow. Fun fact.
With that, Tepel's out of time right as he was going to go for the 7.
Username needs one more solve to tie, and then another to win, and looks like he gets the tie. He has 3 minutes to solve this Hexium.
We'll see what he can do. And now the audio fades on over to username.
Hexium being the bane of our existence for Group A during that week 2, where some people dropped that week 2 for Group A was a bonus bomb featuring all the stuff that Elias can solo. Well, not all the stuff, but a lot of the stuff that he can solo.
I'm pretty sure Bao was
Hexium
the
was
only
on
person who solved that Hexium, wasn't he?
Yeah. I think Elias. I think this was harder than what Elias intended it to. That's what he told me. But yeah, me, Willie, and John, and Maske Elites could not solve this Hexium. Only Makeabout was able to solve it. Now Tepel was able to solve this Hexium and username.
Let's find out.
He has the luxury of not having any actually, never mind, I lied. He does have a strike. That 4 in like the middle right there is kind of locked in some way. He can't move that tile, but he can move the others. Hello, Death. How are you doing today?
Hello, Death. Thank you for blessing us with your existence. Death was here, he'd probably be saying, "Shut up!"
Or I thought you were going to say Death, like you said Death was here. Oh, that looks good.
And it is. And with that, username sweeps it 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah.
Against Tepel. Very impressive.
Indeed, indeed. Well, we've got one more thing to do here, and that is what Yaba calls the out-of-town scoreboard. So, Espic, I can do Group A if you want to do Group C, and we'll both do Group B. Alright, in Group A, we saw Espic versus Mask Elite and Makebow versus Legend Willie. In Espic versus Mask Elite, we saw Espic sweep at 3-0, Espic taking 10 solves on Bomb 1 to Mask's 1, Espic solving Bombs 2 and 3 to Mask's 5 and 2 solves apiece. Congratulations to you, man. And also, we saw Legend Willie also do a sweep against Makebow. Makebow getting 9 solves on the first 2 bombs, while Legend Willie solved them. And for the final bomb, it came down to solve time. Legend Willie solving in 2:28 remaining, and Makebow solving it with 59 seconds remaining. Espic, if you want to take it away for Group B.
I was going to do C first.
Oh, yeah. I can do C. I'll do B real quick. So...
Alright, so... I was going to do it first.
Yeah, go ahead.
We didn't rehearse this ahead of time, by the way.
No, we didn't.
So Group C saw Procyon versus Hollow Jasper. Procyon, first bomb, 9 solves to Jasper's 8. Second bomb, Procyon with 11 solves to Jasper's 10. Third bomb, Procyon, 6 solves to Jasper's 10. So Procyon wins 2-1. He was telling me that before that he was very nervous that he might have with 1-2 that week. And
well, they're probably going to be celebrating in the chat right now.
Also, I meant to say they. Sorry.
Yeah,
anyway, we also had Asu versus MCD, and I'm just going to say it. Asu solved all of his bombs, and MCD didn't.
We're not going to talk about it.
6 solves on the first, 7 solves on the second, 5 solves on the third. Also, there's a note in here saying that MCD cannot qualify for the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm in semis anyway. But I will take the Gridlock YOLO as my win for the EFM event.
So yeah, Group B. So as we saw, Username beat Tepel in all 3 bombs. Um, Eden did 9 solves and 11 solves, and then 9 solves against Bianca. And Bianca, unfortunately, I don't know what happened, but did not submit a run on time, or something happened. I don't know.
And it looked like for Ben versus Caleb, we had one bomb tie with 8 solves apiece. That was bomb number 2, and Caleb swept the other 2 bombs. So it'd be 2.5 to 1.5. And it looks
2.5
like
to 0.5.
yeah, to 0.5, yeah. And Caleb solved both the other bombs, while Ben got 8 and 10 solves respectively. Um,
So
Username has confirmed his spot, and Caleb must win against Tepel in order to qualify.
So if Caleb wants to get in the top 3, he must beat Tepel. And I believe he has a bye during week 7, so it's all dependent on how he does this week.
Indeed. And Ben
Also,
and Bianca can sadly not qualify for the quarterfinals either.
So, other than that, 2nd through 3rd are up for grabs by 4 people: Eden, Tepel, Caleb, and James.
And it's anyone's game at that point. Yeah.
Not as tight as Group C, but pretty tight.
And not as tight as the teams. Currently, we're waiting on the resubmit of a mistaken bomb 2, which will decide who moves on to the finals, whether it's my team or Cloudburst against Espic's team.
Insert obligatory SCSC here.
Yes. Insert obligatory SCSC here. Whether you view that as stay crazy, stay cool, or stay chill, stay combo lock, I think it's time we wrap up this recap here. You knew I had to do it, Espic. You knew it. Caleb's probably going off in the chat, but that's a fine. Thank you all so much for watching this week. As always, thank you so much to Elias5891, aka the Panda, for creating such an amazing league. Thank you to all the other tournament directors who make this league possible. And of course, thank you, the viewer, for watching. Until we see you next, my name is MCD, and that is Espic. We'll see you all very, very soon. Good night, everyone.
Good night.